with the Chaos Emerald in the space colony Ark. I've got to find out just what's going on up there.
We interrupt this broadcast for an important news flash. There has been a break-in at the Federal Reserve Bank today. Mysteriously, the only thing that was stolen was the Chaos Emerald. According to eyewitnesses at the scene, the suspect was identified as the world-renowned hero, Sonic the Hedgehog. The suspect was seen fleeing the scene, destroying the reserve's guard robots in his path. Stay tuned for more details.
Sounds more like the work of Shadow.
How pathetic. Find them before they escape! Maria!
What?
Shadow, I beg of you, please
Maria!
do it for me. For all the people on that planet. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
I still remember what I promised you. For the people of this planet, I promise you. Revenge!
Stage 4, Radical Highway. Rank 2, the besieging military. And our first Shadow the Hedgehog level proper. And we start this off by getting an idea of what this character's motivation is. It is revenge. Now we learned inside the cutscene we learned that. Well, I want to do a few quick things. Now, as you can see with Shadow, Shadow is a skater as opposed to Sonic, who's a runner. I think this plays into the idea that Sonic's supposed to be more of a parkour kind of champion, where Shadow's more of a freestyle kind of skater dude. You know, not skateboarder, just skater. You know, and he has everything to go with it. And I like this. Because you think about it, it could have been very easy just to make another really fast hedgehog, but they suddenly hint that if he takes his shoes off, he's not as fast as Sonic. But Sonic with his shoes off can still run laps around him. I like that little detail. Because it shows an artificiality about him, which will play into the character at a later date. Just saying that right now. But there's a couple of things. But yeah, with the character we saw earlier, the character of Maria, I don't know the exact details. This is once again get back into the comics, which loops back into an earlier thing on the last part where Robotnik actually had a family. Well, they had a whole fleshed out family and a lineage and a backstory. And it's a whole big complicated thing, but long story short, Robotnik comes from a family that's like 50-50 on the good bad scale, and his brother had a couple of kids and yada 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 yada. But long story short, oh hey Big, yeah, he's on the blip there for no freaking reason. But long story short, the character of Maria plays a big role, plays a much bigger role in the comics than she does inside this game, and is already a big part of this game as well. But in the comics, it's hinted heavily that Shadow and Maria were really good friends. Like they make nothing ambiguous about that. They were just really good friends to the point of being siblings. It's one of those things where it's like, actually think of the. That did not go well. I thought I was a big student it did. That's on me. But think of the Pokemon the first movie. There was a short that was supposed to play at the beginning of that movie where Mewtwo and a Bulbasaur, a Squirtle, and a Charmander all got cloned, and in that tank with them was a girl who was also cloned. And this girl, has memories of the outside, yada, and all this kind of stuff. I recommend looking it up. I remember I saw it in a game theory where Matt Pat was trying to do a game theory on the, I think, Let's Go Pokemon games. And the relationship that girl has with the clone is pretty much how, you look to your right, there's a knight's head statue right there, nice reference there. It's pretty much how Shadow Maria's supposed to play out. But I think there's a few key differences. So, yeah, Shadow and Maria are just really good friends. Despite what some fan art I make you think. Love fan art community, but sometimes they get a little bit weird, let's be honest here. Also, that robot always gets me at the end of the level. I always forget his name.
Ultimate victory.
Exactly! I kind of missed this Shadow, and I'll get into why in a little bit in a second.
What? It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power.
That's the Chaos Emerald! Now I know what's going on. The military has mistaken me for the likes of you. So, where do you think you're going with that emerald? Say something, you fake hedgehog!
Chaos control!
He's fast! Hey, it's not his speed. He must be using the Chaos Emerald to warp.
Shadow. I'm the world's ultimate life form. There's no time for games. Farewell!
Good! Shadow! What is he?
Stage 5. 8 portals. Find the 3 gate keys.
This is Rouge. I've located Eggman's base and will proceed to enter it now. I hate to say it. I guess I'm going to have to find that key first.
By that key, she needs 3 keys. This is... Okay, so I don't really dig about this game because I legitimately like it. I understand that it has its problems. Really, I do. But every game that you like, every single one, always has a problem. Even games like even hard but fair games like Dark Souls. I guarantee if I were to play one of those games, I could probably find a few problems. It wouldn't be difficulty though. That's the whole silly part of that game. But just because a game you like, doesn't mean it isn't without its problems. I don't think you have to think critically about a game to really enjoy it. I don't think that's necessary at all. But I do think that you should be open to paying attention to these kind of design things. Okay, so I'm going to find myself a big rocket. Now here's Rouge's nails. Our girl, yeah, I think that's, our girl needs her heels. The things you can dig, you can pretty much dig, so that's pretty much it. It's like this. Everything that Knuckles has inside of his campaign, inside of his part of the story, with the exception of the air necklace, Rouge gets. So there you go. Now, I don't like this level for one reason only. It is actually the same reason why I didn't like it in Knuckles' playthrough, because I find it too open and, well, not too open, just needlessly confusing. I don't like the stealth aspect of this level. That one's just loading here, because you have this beetle. I think that's exactly what it's called. It's just a beetle, and it's just hunting the halls. That's all it does. And if it spots you, it will shock you. It won't want to kill you. It's nowhere near that bad. But having this extra stipulation when they don't have it anywhere else in the game is just needless, if you ask me. Here. Oh, there it is. Entirely. But I just don't agree with this level. This level is just always rubbing it wrong. Like even as Rouge or as Knuckles, it just gets on my nerves, you know. Yes, thank you, Omo-chan. Thank you, Omo-chan. Your contributions are just much appreciated. This one... Oh, just right here. Just go for his tail. There we go. Okay, now where's the last one? This way. What was I at? Oh yeah, with Shadow. I'm not thinking about that. Shadow, I understand why they did him the way they did in later games, but I miss how he is in this game. Because even though he was this stoic, even though he was like this really stoic kind of guy, he still had this, he had this hint of a fun side to him. Like whenever he would be doing tricks and stuff in the air, he would say things like, I'm the coolest, you know, or ultimate victory, you know, like just this kind of dumb stuff that's like, you get an idea of a personality behind there, you know? He's not just this edgy recolour. He actually is like, he is a guy who really is just in his own head about how good he is. And when you find out his backstory, he kind of has a reason to be that way. In recent games, he's been a stoic amnesiac, you know, very much brooding. Think of it like a mix between Batman and Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. If that had amnesia.
Too easy for me.
It works, but I think this little kind of like up his own butt personality would have been nice too.
It's a space transporter. The destination has been set to Ark? Wasn't that space colony shut down over 50 years ago? What's he doing up there anyway? Doesn't matter. It's my mission to find out what he's up to.
Stage 8, Lost Colony.
So this is the space colony Ark. I have to locate the central control room that Shadow mentioned before he left.
Well, let's get to it. Now this version of the Ark has a very interesting gimmick. The lights are off. That's literally it. The lights are off. And the only way you're going to get any light to help guide your path is A, the flashlight that's on the front of the Eggomatic, which is what we're playing as. It's not a new mech, it's just the Eggomatic with some legs attached to it. Which I know some people were kind of disappointed in. It's like, this is a Robotnik. Why couldn't we play as one of his giant mechs and whatnot? Well, you got a point there. I don't really have a clear answer for you. only thing I can think of is that maybe the Dreamcast just couldn't handle that, or they couldn't figure out how to do it. Now, there's probably a game out there that proves to me, yeah, they could do it. It's just Sega didn't do it. So I don't know. I really don't know. But one thing is for certain. I gotta jump on one of these. This one goes up. And yeah, I'm gonna catch it here. But this whole thing with the lights being off actually serves a narrative point. When we get to the arc as Tails, Sonic, and Knuckles, Rouge brings up an interesting point. This arc was decommissioned well over 50 years ago, and just the jet engine is just Eggman's hover. But yeah, the arc was decommissioned well over 50 years ago. 50 years at minimum, anyway. And since Shadow knows about it, that makes Shadow at least 50 years old. Now, since the arc's been shut down for 50 years, there isn't any power, whatever these lights are, I can't really tell you what it is. But there isn't any power that's like that makes being on this station comfortable, going to like the lights and maybe some air and whatnot, like some basic functionality. But yeah, the lights are just off. As Eggman, we gotta turn them on. So the lights are off. That's all this level is, just turn the lights back on. And I think it's a really neat idea. You get an idea through the gameplay and the level design what's going on inside the story. But you also get an interesting level gimmick that isn't too overplayed. Most other levels that usually do this, like what's another one? I think Mario's a couple times. I think in Mario 3D World? No, 3D Land, I think, right? I want to say it. But it was ever the 3D one was on the Wii, which you play as Rosalina when you unlock her. It had a level that was set in the dark. Now, from what I can tell of that level, it looks like an interesting gimmick because they give you a power-up to use. But with this one, you have a light on you at all times. It's just not. It's like a flashlight in a horror movie. It's not going to do you a whole lot of good. But by causing explosions and whatnot, you get some ambient light that you can work off of. Now, why an explosion gives off so much light, I have no idea. But I think it's a neat idea. It's a neat gimmick. Now, if I remember correctly, in this hallway, if you pay attention to the left, somewhere up here, you'll see another little cameo by the king himself. There he is! There he is! Hey, Big. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in the Heroes I played through, but I believe in Adventure 2 Battle, they placed Big the Cat in more locations than he was initially! Well, this is unfortunate. Time to die! Oh, they actually did account for that. Okay, that's nice. Land here. Okay, I've never had that happen, but this does bring up an interesting issue that was even in Adventure 1. Sometimes you'll get off a platform and there's like a small enough gap between where the platform connects to another one that your character model can just fall right through. And I want to say this is not an issue exclusive to Sonic games, at least games on the Dreamcast. I believe Ratchet and Clank, Super Mario, and I want to say Jak and Daxter have also had this problem when they first released. Recent years, that this is not that big an issue. If it does happen, it's very rare. But that is something to take note of when you're doing this. So you gotta be careful about where you step. It doesn't happen all the time, mind you. It happens. I think if you're like sat down at like just the right angle. But it is something that can happen. So just keep it in mind whenever you're doing your thing. What else is there? Oh, shut. I want to tell you earlier about something. What was it? Oh yeah, the lights being on, it's a narrative dissonance. There aren't a lot of games that actually do the narrative dissonance. I think it's called gameplay narrative dissonance, something like that. And this game actually does it pretty well with the level design. Nowadays they just spell it out for you, but That's a conversation for another time. At any rate, I've been Ananti. You've been awesome. This has been Slayer Witcher 2, and I'll catch you later.